Yeah, thanks. So the topics that we'll be covering is basics of Google Colab. So how to get about and get around the platform. The basics of Python. So I already asked in the mail to briefly go through the video, and I think the content is simple enough for all of you to really get understand and get a hold of Python. So this is one of the most important languages because of the amount of tools and libraries available to us, which is already integrated. So yeah, so just a second. So yeah, and the third thing, which is going to be one of the highlight today, is the project which we are going to start. So the project is implementing the Hangman Gain in Python. So the basic constructs I'll be covering in Python is the definitions of variables, strings, the random modules. So modules are like libraries. The basic condition statements, if else, control flow, which is the loops, lists, which is like arrays, and functions. So so let's start with collab. So so I have my collab open. Just a second. Uh, yeah. So I request you all to open your collab as well. Uh, Sorry for that. Yeah. So just basically type Google Colab in the search engine, and the first link that you are going to get is going to be the collab only. So I'll just show you how to make a new notebook. So I request you to uh, keep the code in the notebook that you are going to use today. So just click on new notebook and it will take a little while and you should be ready to go. Yeah, so I'm not going to use this one because I already have one notebook open with me. So this is not it. Just give me one sec. Yeah. One second. Just let me reshare. Yeah. So so the first thing that you are going to want to do is connect. So Google Colab basically uses the hardware which is provided to us from Google. So when you connect, it will allocate us some resources. Um, so the reason that we are using, so there are many ways in which we can actually write the Python code. So one way is to write a Python file. As you can see, it is now connected to Google Colab. The other way is to write in Jupyter Notebook, which is part of the Anaconda suite of softwares. So, but that requires setup from your side and installation. The third way is to use Collab, which we are going to do. So it is Collab is a very powerful resource because the libraries and all are already present in Collab, so we don't have to really worry about dependencies. And also the platform is easy to use. It is based on Jupyter itself, Jupyter Notebook itself. And the third thing is the availability of hardware like sorry, GPU and also in the data science programs which you will do if you want to take your data science further will or may require GPU usage and GPU acceleration. So a lot of us don't have those kind of machines available to us. So Collab is one very neat alternative for that. So I hope you all have connected by now to your Collab instance. So I request you to type the first module and I'm going to start explaining along with it. So we'll start with string declaration. So this is, as you can see, the comment has already said that this is a string. So the string variables are there, but there is no need for explicit definition. So like we write strs or maybe intx. There is no need for that in Python. Again, one of the very powerful ways in which Python is helping us data scientists. And as you can see, uh, the print is like the C out in C++, and print actually already has a slash, and I'll just show you. One more thing which I wanted to show you was that you need to you can download your file here in this ipynb file, which is the Jupyter notebook file. I'll just download and show it to you. So you will get a prompt like that, and then the notebook will be saved. What we will request you to download the notebooks once you have done and completed the code for the day, because we are going to ask you to submit that code. So just to inform you, so the running of the cell is actually from the arrow, so quite intuitive. So as you can see, the program is printing hello world, which is one of the basic programs. And one, so as you can see, the print actually already has a slash n, but since I gave an extra slash n, it is giving one slash n. So let's move on to the next module. I hope you have written this with you. If you are learning Python from the basic, these kind of programs are important. So just I'll give you 1 minute. Yeah. So let's move on. So import random. So import is like the include in C++. So there are a lot of pre-implemented modules available to us as users of Python, and all the like new modules get added all the time. So import random imports the random module which contains basic functions like I'm going to show you. So it's basically like it contains functions similar to rand, etc., which you might have already done in C++. Um, so now one very important construct which we are going to learn is lists. So as you can see here, a list is declared. It is very similar to arrays in C++, but there are a few key differences which we are going to come forward to in the next few sections. So as you can see, I have implemented one list which contains 1 to 6 numbers. The indexing of the list happens from 0 only. Keep that in mind. So the random library contains a basic like a function which is like the choice function, which operates on a list and gives you a random choice. So if I run this, you can see it is giving me 1. So that's a random choice. If I run it again, it will give me a different choice. So I'm going to just give you 1 minute to write. So if anybody has any doubts and all, you are very welcome to ask on the chat or ask by opening your mic. Also, if you need me to slow down or speed up or explain anything again, please ask. So I'm happy to explain things again and again, and happy to repeat things and happy to go back. So yeah, you must have implemented this portion. So let's move forward. So um, as you can see, one of the most important things about lists is it is heterogeneous. So what does heterogeneous mean? Basically that it is not fixed to one data type. So we know in arrays, so like we declare int a equal to something something. So then the objects of that array have to be integer only. And here in Python, as you can see, I have written the first two objects as strings, and the last three objects as integers. So as you can see, also here the print function has been used and the len function has been used. So if I run this, you can see here. So this colon is like very interesting. So it is basically iterating over the first two elements. So like less than 2. So it is similar to a for loop, and it is much easier to write than just writing for I equal to 0 and all that. So if I change this, so if I write it to till 5, so as you can see there are 5 elements, so it will be, yeah, so as you can see all the elements are written. So I'm just going to give you 1 minute to write. So do try out these examples which I am like writing here or showing you, because Only when we write, then we know how to code, because without writing, all of this is theory and no practical application is there. So please do write, ask your doubts. Uh, Feel free to write and chat or open your mic and speak. So yeah, you must have written. If you haven't, if you want me to pause here, please say so. Otherwise, I'll move forward. So yeah, I'm moving forward. Uh, So as we know, in C, C++, so I'll go back to C, C++ a lot because those are the starting languages. At least they were for me. So we know that there are curly braces to separate the functions and the while loops and the for loops. So as you can see here, I have declared two variables, and the arguments which are going in the variables are with the respective bases. So A will be having 0 and B will be having 1. So here is the basic construct of while loop. So it is slightly different from C, C++, but basically same. What is really important is that in Python you have to indent your code very appropriately. So I know it must be a pain for some of you, or maybe even a lot of you, but indentation is paramount in Python. So all the content that is required to be written under the while loop has to be indented properly. So as you can see, all of this is written properly indented, and hash is the comment here in Python, like like the slashes are for C, C++, the hash is the comment for Python. So as you can see here, this is printing the Fibonacci series. Do write the formatted output correctly, because otherwise you will get indentation errors, and those are a real pain to sort out. And many times you really want to bash your head against the computer, because brackets are easier, indentation has to be quite proper. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to write the code and experiment with it. Again, I'm encouraging for any doubts, any suggestions. If my voice is breaking you, please do inform. Uh, and don't keep any doubt with you. We are all learning here. Even I am learning along with you. And so are the mentors. So please don't be hesitant. Even though this is an online mode, I would have really wanted to teach you in an offline mode, but let's hope we can meet in the next semester. So, yeah. So you must have written this part by now. So let's go forward. So this is the basic concept. So the one important thing is that the input in Python when returned is actually returned as a string. So here, as you can see, we have to typecast it to an integer so that the recognized code is actually an integer now. So as you can see, this is the if else ladder, which we have seen many times in C, C++. Again, as you can see, the code has been properly indented. And instead of writing an else if, Python has a fancy way of writing it. It is elif. So as you know, computer scientists really love their short forms. Um, and the way of writing the condition is quite similar to while. As you can see here, also we are using colon to end the condition, and here it is so. So here, so as you can see, this is now asking for my input. So if I give an input and press enter, it'll give me an appropriate output. So I'll just wait for a few minutes for you to write, assess, and assimilate. Yeah, so you must have written, and I presume you have no doubts, because there's really nothing to have doubts about. But even if you have anything, like if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. There is no such thing as a stupid doubt. So we have all heard our professors say that, but it is true here. And I'm just a third year, so I am also learning along with you. So I am repeatedly stressing that. So so again, this is one more example. So this is using the len function, and as you can see, again the output is formatted quite correctly. So this really requires no explanation from me, this portion, but I would encourage you to write in your Colab notebooks. And please do use Colab, don't use any other thing, because we are going to ask you to submit that portion, and it just makes things easier for us. So the code is visible on screen, so I'll just rerun it again. Also keep in mind, so we are going to go for this like further, but if you are using some previous cells in Colab, you have to run them again when you have connected to the runtime. Also, the runtime does disconnect after a while, so I think the limit is 10 hours. And if the runtime disconnects, you have to connect it again, and all the output, you can see the outputs, but the information will be gone. So for example, if you have defined a variable above and you are using it below, you can't just rerun the last cell that you have used, you have to rerun it again. uh, so I'll give you 1 minute to write assimilate. So as you can also see that we have a for loop here, and the first occurrence of this in construct. So x in A basically means that x is present in A, as the language also suggests. So this in construct is quite powerful, and we'll see sorry, we'll see the use further. Also, we have the first introduction to range. So range is similar to us specifying the for loop in C++. So we write there for I equal to 0 and I less than whatever range. So len of A here, um, and I increment. So the increment part is not really necessary for us to specify, neither is the I equal to 0 part, but the range, for us to define an ending point, we can define it to be a range. So here the range will be len of A, which is going to be 3 in this case. So yeah, so I'm moving forward. So now we have the function definition. So functions again are quite similarly defined. Again, indentation is paramount. So as you can see, the fib is the name of the function, def is the keyword which we are using to define. And again, we have the colon here. Also, as you can see, the while loop which is present inside the function is, first of all, it's itself indented, and the content, it's the inside the while loop is also properly indented. Uh, so I'll just give you 1 minute to write. And as you can see, like I've called it here, and you can see that this is printing the Fibonacci series. So I'll just let you experiment, and do feel free to ask any doubts. Again, I'm encouraging, the mentors are there to help you, the leads are there to help you. So don't keep any doubt to yourself. Please ask, please speak up. So yeah, I'm going to move forward now. So so again, here vec is basically just the name of the list, and as you can see here also, we are using the in construct. The double star is basically a way for Python to specify squaring. So yeah, so I'll just give you 1 minute to write. So you must have written, so I'm just moving on. This is again one more example. So this just specifies the del function. So del is basically used to delete. So here we are giving the index of the uh, element that we want to delete. And here we are giving a range of elements which we want to delete. And as you can see, the output has been modified accordingly. Yeah. So I'll just give you 1 minute to write. Sorry. So yeah, you must have completed. Again, I'm saying please ask if there are any doubts, if you want me to go back, if you want me to explain anything again. Yeah, so here we have a few basic functions of lists. So the vec, if you have previously defined it, so I've defined it here actually, if you remember here. So I'm using that again, which I can do because I'm running the cells properly in a linear fashion. So here the few important and useful functions are append, insert, and again len is there, and index and count. There is also sort, which is again a very powerful function because as you know in C we have to write the sorting algorithms ourselves. Um, Not so much in C++, but yeah, there's also the reverse and the remove functions. So yeah, I'll just run it and you can see. So yeah, I'll just leave it here for you to implement. So the PPT, the Python PPT, which you must have gotten, uh, is also containing a lot of examples and a lot of other helpful other helpful tools and information about Python. So if you want, you can go through that thoroughly. Also, the 2-hour course that I specified, it goes more in depth of the Python constructs. Also, as you all know, the internet is always open and you can definitely go and search there. So yeah, I'll move forward. So this is the last example. So we are checking if the element 4 is present in the vector which we had specified earlier, and if the answer is returning either true or false, so which can be evaluated by if. Again, notice the indentation. So yeah, so again the answer is true. So that is why the correct output is present. Uh, I'll give you 1 minute to write. So yeah, you must have written. So now let's come to the more interesting part, which is the Hangman project. So I'm going to show you one implementation. So so don't panic. This has been implemented in Anaconda, but you can do it in the Colab environment itself. So this is one implementation which I had written earlier. So yeah, the topic or basically where the words come from is sports. So basically sports uh, names are the topic for the hangman game, and you can see import hangman. So hangman is basically the function. You will not need to write this part in the collab environment. So I'll just run it and show it to you. Yeah, just give me 1 sec. Just 1 sec. So yeah, if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask. Yeah. So as you can see, so this is the implementation. I'll just 1 second. I'll talk about the parameters first. So under which I have implemented. So okay, let's go with the implementation first. So does anybody want to give me one number? So you can see there are 3 difficulty levels. Um, so the intermediate is default. I'll talk about what my criteria was for difficulty levels. So I'm just briefly going over the code after this and the parameters. But if anybody would like to give me a number between 1 to 3. Also, please open your mic and speak if you want to participate. And if not, then chat is also fine. But yeah. Okay, so I see a lot of numbers. So the last So the last is 1. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. Yeah. So as you can see, there I have specified a number of trials, so and the wrong attempts, and so this is the famous hangman pose. So I just used the symbols available to us on keyboard, uh, and so these are the dashes. So I'm sure you all know what hangman is. I don't think I need to explain that part, and the guesses are also shown here. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth because you are going to implement it after that. So I'll just so I want one character. Who is going to give me one character? So write in the chat or write in or speak up. So any character, any letter.
H.
A.
So you said J or A.
H.
Okay, let's start with H. So as you can see, this is a wrong attempt. Keep speaking. So like you can see, we have the first line appearing for Hangman. Anybody else? Please speak up because looking at the chat is quite difficult for me. So yeah, sorry. Yeah. So again, this is a wrong letter. So you do know that vowels are the most common letters.
A.
Yeah, that I was wanting this guess a lot before. Yeah, so as you can see, the correct letter has been placed in the correct position, and you can see that multiple occurrences have been taken into account. So this is important. So if you have specified A, so all the occurrences of A have been like searched and correctly placed in the string, not just the first occurrence. So I think these are the rules of Hangman, but you can change them if you want when you're going to implement. So keep guessing, keep giving me letters. And I again request you to please speak up.
L.
Okay, so last I got L. So that's again a wrong guess. Anybody else? Come on. O. Okay. Again a wrong guess.
E.
Okay. So E is a correct guess. So keep in mind this is a name of a sport. Yeah, keep guessing. Come
K.
on. So A has already been written, but if you have said A, sorry for that.
I said K.
Okay, so K, I'll use that K. But one thing which I wanted to show. So as you can see, A has already been guessed before, but guessing it again is not counting it. So in this implementation, I have not counted it. So and so K. So
R.
K is, yeah, I think you really like, I don't think there any need to. So as you can see, this is the correct row. So let's talk about the parameters which I'm using. So just one second. Sorry. Yeah. So the topic for this implementation of Hangman was sports, but please, in fact, I want you to change the topics. Don't really stick to sports at all. In fact, take anything, movies, names of books, uh, guitar, or CS related things, data science, names of your family, pets, dogs, environment, anything. So the two functions which I have defined are hangman and draw. So hangman is a basic driver function which is printing the main menu and printing the uh, printing all the options and the correct attempts, and the draw function is drawing the stick figure. So again, to execute, we have to run in Google Colab for us. So the cases I've considered are beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So the difference between the cases is just on the basis of the difficulty of the word. So like the rarity of the letters involved. So this and the total number of options is also different in the difficulty. So this actually I have selected myself. This is not something which is data science related. So if like for common sense allows for the fact that if the word has more vowels and is a smaller word and is quite well known, then yeah, it is going to be a beginner or an intermediate word at max. The pictorial representation of hangman is done in draw, so that uses just the basic zero and underscore and dash symbols. So the error cases are more interesting. So if a non-numeric difficulty level is entered, so then that is not really considered. So if you enter in the difficulty level, if you enter an A or something, so that will not be considered. and you will be asked to guess again. So if the difficulty level which is not like which we specified earlier, so between 1 to 3, uh, so it will if it is not between that, the intermediate difficulty level is picked by itself, so that is the default guess. uh, the program like checks the so as I explained earlier, it checks if multiple characters are entered. So for example, if you are trying to enter BC together or AD or something, so they will so like that will not be allowed, and you will be allowed to guess again. If a non-alphabetic like character or a numeric character or a special character has been entered, that case will be considered. And if a character has already been tried, so we saw that if a character has already been tried, it will not be considered in a guess. So as you can see, display the display option was that we can see all the previously tried characters. We can see the maximum number of trials, and that has the upper bound. So as you can see in the as you saw earlier in the difficulty level, the if you choose a more advanced difficulty level, the number of trials will be less, and the number of failed attempts will also be less. So the total number of attempts allowed and the total failed attempts both will reduce as the difficulty increases. The program is not case sensitive, so you will use appropriate functions for that if you want to make it case sensitive. But I thought that case sensitivity is really not something which is present in Hangman. And if we would have failed, we would have seen the correct solution, but we did not. So yeah. So now I'm going to ask you to implement this. So using the constructs that I have used, and something which you might uh, like look at in the video or the PPT or somewhere else, you will be you can easily implement a Hangman game. I'm not going to show you my code because I want you to try and implement it by yourself. And the criteria that we are considering for implementation is threefold. So the criteria is based on plagiarism. So please don't pick an already implemented code from online, because that is not why you are here. You are here to devote 1 hour of your time, and I think you are all here to learn. So I would please again encourage you to try and implement yourself. Uh, the second criteria is creativity. So please be creative, try different things. So I implemented it in one way, but don't. In fact, I encourage you to implement it in any different way. Again, as I said, try different things. Maybe you want to give less difficulty options, more difficulty options, uh, different categories, so sports or something if you want. Maybe even categories amongst the word. Maybe if you want to implement the whole dictionary, that is again up to you. Maybe you want complete something completely different. Maybe you want something in a different language. That is up to you. Yeah, and time. So the earlier you submit, that the better it will be, but do keep in mind that you have to balance these three criterias: the submission time, the creativity, and the plagiarism. So we will roll out a Google form for submission after the workshop is over, after this session of workshop is over. And the earlier you submit, the better it will be for you. But please keep in mind that creativity and plagiarism or lack thereof is more important to us. So balance these three criteria accordingly. So yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. Please start implementing in Google Colab, and if you have any doubts, any suggestions, any difficulties that you might have, if you want to see the implementation, although I hope that you will want to first implement yourself. So yeah, please feel free to ask. So yeah, so the questions, I am seeing a few questions in chat. So if the mentors can answer the questions, but yeah. So Saran, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing your name correctly. The important in the notebook, I'll not share the implementation first because I want people to submit. I will share the implementation later, so you can try first, and then don't worry if the code is not working, but just focus on learning. Uh, do you, if anybody has any doubts, anything they want to ask, uh, you are like, please feel free to ask, or in the chat, on like opening your mic. Uh, so yeah, Aditya, you will be able to call. That is again one thing. Uh, the recording will be made available on the YouTube channel part. And yeah, to answer Aditya, your question, if you define a function and run that cell, that will be present in the collab memory, and you can then call it. So I'll go to the example which I shared earlier. Just give me one sec. So yeah, here I'm defining, like here I have defined fib, and after that I'm calling fib in a completely different cell. So I hope this answers your question. Uh, I hope you are implementing. Yeah, Aditya. I hope you are implementing the code, because I really have no way to know whether you are implementing. But if you have any doubts, please ask. Uh, if you uh, if you want, we can help you. But I think this code is quite simple. But again, there is no such thing as a stupid doubt. So yeah, now I'll just close off the mic, and you are free to implement. You have till 8:30, and till then we are here. We are also there for a little bit longer if you have any doubts. So yeah, keep asking the doubts in the chat.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so you might have already covered this, but what exactly are we supposed to implement and submit?
So I'll share the details. Yeah, just give me one sec. I'll share this file. Uh, but what you basically have to submit is a hangman game. So hangman is again the basic game. So you can be as creative as you want. So uh, just I've shared the parameters in the chat. I'll also share them on the WhatsApp group. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so when should we submit this again?
So there is the actual time limit of submission is going to be till the end of the workshop, not the session, but the workshop itself, which is going to be 23rd. But the first deadline is by before tomorrow's workshop. The second deadline is before the next workshop, and so on and so forth. So again, as I said earlier, please balance the time, the creativity, and the plagiarism part, because I don't want to find that the code has already been implemented, but I don't want you to be constrained by the time. So be creative, but don't be very, don't leave it till the end. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I have shared the the chat में जो मैंने share किया ना, the implementation details of Hangman on the WhatsApp group. So if you haven't joined, please join the WhatsApp group. And if you have then you can download and see the requirements from there also if you're finding it difficult to see in the chat.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Can you just show us the example for the draw function, like just the output?
Yeah, just give me 1 sec. I'll just share my screen. So you are wanting the exact output.
Yeah, that's right.
Although I'll definitely share Abhi, but what I really want is that you don't do it in a way that I have done. Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen. Do tell if it is visible. Be creative in that. Don't make it the way I made it. If you want to make it the way I made it, that is also cool. So yeah, I'll I'll just use that. So okay, let me guess some wrong guesses. So as you can see, the hangman is
sharing the
actually
screen.
appearing. Yeah, I am sharing the screen. Is it not visible?
I can't seem to see it.
This is visible.
Okay, so can anybody confirm if it is not visible to everyone or?
No, it's visible.
It's visible.
Okay, so Prabhav, maybe you have to rejoin the call or something. Das, so again I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. The WhatsApp invitation was present in the mail also. Uh, so
I don't think I've received any such mail.
okay, so the link will be shared in chat.
Okay,
So
thank you.
yeah. So those of you who haven't joined, who haven't really found the WhatsApp group, please do find it and join because I've sent the requirements text there. So I'll just finish guessing wrong guesses here, and you can see the finished output also. So this is basically the finished output, and the correct guess was also mentioned here. So Prabhav, if you are there, I hope that this answers your question.
Yeah, that clears it up.
Sorry.
So I'm leaving this on the screen, and you can come back to it actually if you want to implement it in a similar manner. The link for the WhatsApp group is now available in the chat. So Das, if if you want, you can join that group,
Yeah, I
and
got it.
please do join. Yeah. So after you join, please inform me. I'll send the requirements text again.
Okay, I've joined the group.
Yeah, so I'll just send the requirements text again there, so you can have a look at it. Just give me 1 sec. I've shared the requirements text again for those who joined the WhatsApp group late. Uh, and I hope it is visible and it helps you in some way. Okay, so someone has also shared the contents of the file. So thank you to that person, and I think that might be helpful to people. Also, if you want, you can like ask anything. Like if you want to ask something about me, because like I am just like I am a third year student, CSE student. So if you want to ask about me, or if you want to ask about that, you can also do about talk about that. But keep that to a minimum and try to implement things. Also, if you want to ask about these things, you can like stay back in the workshop and we can hang out for a little while. But uh, yeah, let's like try to all submit, because that is something that we are really looking forward to, your creative implementations. So last 5 minutes are remaining for the session. So if anybody has any doubts or anything that they want the mentors to answer, or if they want to ask me something, or they are getting some errors, or they want to talk about something, they can feel free to ask here. So we are there to answer.